Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Atriox and we're back with another Mortal Kombat video. So this Mortal Kombat video is gonna be a little bit different. I basically have been working on a project for the last 3 months that it's finally getting ready to release. Now, if you guys been following the page and like you see the community notes, I've been talking about it, and I've even teased a couple photos and like even like some shorts I posted every now and then. So let me tell you how this project ended up starting. So basically, it started back about a year ago. So probably like maybe a month and a half before the game launched. So me and my friend, we were talking about it all the time when I was like, this is like when I first started creating content for Mortal Kombat. Like, so we were talking about what we would like to see in the story for the first kind of chapter. And basically what we kind of came up with was we would like to see Liu Kang and Raiden, basically creating a timeline. Maybe Raiden passes away or something similar to that. Like, that's kind of like the first chapter we wanted to see, and maybe a little bit of the Great Kung Lao era, moving on to the actual main story, since it's going to take place in the modern era. So we thought maybe that was the kind of route they were going to take. But if you play the game, it doesn't end up being that way. They just jump straight into the new era with no talk about what happened with Old Man Raiden. So that's basically kind of like where this whole story comes into play, because we were both disappointed on the fact that kind of what happened. So what happened was I was writing a story. I was like, one day I just decided to start writing, because I was like, I had something just like hit me like right away, and it just made me start writing. So I wrote a little bit of a story, and then I sent it to my friend, and my friend really enjoyed the way I was like doing the story, and he's like, dude, why don't you do something for your YouTube channel and do that? And I was like what, a fan story? And he's like, yeah, I see that on all the time. So then like we started looking at Dragon Ball Z and Star Wars. Those are like the main kind of like communities that actually do fan stories, like especially Star Wars. Star Wars is really big with that. I see a lot of videos like that, and that kind of inspired me to do this story. So I was basically for the month and a half after writing the story, I was just looking at these different types of stories and seeing what I can do, and like how I can do the fan story, and the more I looked at it, the more I didn't want to do it the way they did it. I wanted to try something different. So I also looked at the community on the Mortal Kombat community on YouTube to see if somebody was doing something similar to this, and to my surprise, no one's done anything like this. They haven't done an actual fan story where they create their own kind of like stories outside the regular Mortal Kombat universe. Obviously, it's mostly there's people uploading game clips and stuff like that, and then on top of that, there's some live action stuff. Don't get me wrong, like people do it like live fights between characters that like people would like to see, but it's not like a story. And that's kind of like what I wanted to do with this, especially because there was such a big gap between Mortal Kombat 11's Aftermath and Mortal Kombat 1, the actual story. So I ended up writing this story. This is going to be the first part of 4. And then like there are some sub stories that I do want to tell as well, that I kind of leave it up to you guys if you guys want to see that later on after the first 4 stories are done. So this first story, and I'm gonna go into detail about, like, not super detail, but like a little bit of information for each one. This first story is gonna basically be about Liu Kang's journey to. Okay, so his journey in this one it's gonna be different than what the story showed, because like in my opinion, I always felt weird that Liu Kang understood how to use the lightning abilities right off the gate. I didn't like that. Like, I liked if Raiden was a part of him, it would make sense, because Raiden obviously has control of it. They're bonded together. But once they weren't bonded anymore, it didn't make sense for him to still be able to use the abilities. So in this story, this is basically the whole thing is going to be, what if when Raiden and Liu Kang separated, he didn't have control of the abilities? Because obviously with Raiden not being part of him anymore, he wouldn't have the experience to know how to use it. So that's kind of like where the story takes place, is that in order to like use the hourglass, obviously you need some kind of power of a god or the crown. That's kind of the emphasis on where this story is kind of like doing. So Liu Kang is not able to use the crown. He's not able to use the crown, and he's not able to control the hourglass properly. So he's struggling to do it, and basically his journey in this thing is about training and getting to the point where he can do that. And there's some elements in the story that's actually honestly really cool. I think there's a lot of emotional parts in it that you know, if you're a real Mortal Kombat fan and you know the lore and stuff like that, it's really just gonna tug on your heartstrings a little bit. But it's meant to be that way. This story is not really action packed with fighting or anything like that in the beginning. So in this story, this is just basically introducing you to the plot of how everything's going on at this time. At this time, it's just Liu Kang and Raiden, and it's just them trying to figure out, you know, what they're doing and how to go about fixing what's happening with the timeline. Because with Kronika's death and there's no real keeper of time there, they have to somehow figure out how to do everything without the help of someone like Kronika or someone like Garrus that could show them how to do everything. So there's like two people that are kind of lost right now, and they're both trying to learn how to be their opposite roles. Like Liu Kang's trying to learn how to be a god, and Raiden's trying to learn how to be immortal. And Raiden's dealing with hunger and sleeping and being slower and all this stuff that comes with kind of being older. So that's basically what the minimal amount of information I'll give for this, because like the trailer will also explain a little bit. There'll be parts in it that I didn't talk about here, just because like I'm not giving away too much information, because I wanted this trailer to be kind of short, because the video itself I think is going to be about 35 to 38 minutes, depending on, you know, the final cut. Right now it's at like 35 minutes, so it's a lot of information that you're not going to get from this video and then from the trailer. But I did that on purpose, because I feel like nowadays a lot of trailers kind of just give away everything off the gate, and I don't want to do that with this. I want it to pique your interest, and I want it for you guys to go and watch the video yourself and just give your own opinion on it. So yeah, that's basically what the first story is going to be like. I'll probably do videos like this every story that I put out, because like for now, this first story I want to test the waters with it and see what you guys think about it. Because like me personally, I would like to do more of this kind of content for the channel versus just posting all the time about gaming stuff and reacting to stuff that devs and stuff like that. Like I'll still do that. That's not going to change. But the main focus, I want to switch it over to doing something more creative for the Mortal Kombat community. And that's kind of like where this video started. Like, especially like now there's a lot of like negativity in the Mortal Kombat community amongst other things. So I kind of wanted to take the time now. And I'm like, okay, this would be the perfect time to create something for the community, for people to enjoy. And, you know, it being the holiday season, like, you know, as cheesy as it sounds, like, this is going to be a gift for me to you guys, because I know, like, there are a bunch of, like, people like me that like the lore and like watching the story. And it's not just all about the gameplay and the fight scenes and all that stuff. So this story, that's what the story is going to be about. It's going to be about for those type of people. And later on, there'll be fight scenes throughout the stories. Like, but for now, this first story, it's not really about fighting. It's more about just trying to survive in this new dimension. That's kind of where this goes. So that's basically what happened and how it took place. Now, this story has been on the shelf for 1.5 years for a reason. The only reason it was on 1.5 years is because I didn't know how to tell the story, and I didn't want to just post the story and just voice over it myself. I'm not a voice actor. I'm not really good with voices, so I knew it was going to be good, and I didn't want the story to fall off flat because of the way I handled it. So it sat on the shelf for about 1.5 years. That is until I met a friend of mine at my old job. So I met this dude named Mel, and we talked for a few times, and then he told me he was a voice actor, and because like we both were talking, you know, we're both YouTubers. He does basketball content though, and then he said he does voice acting on the side outside of his regular job. So then, you know, he gave me this server, and for like a little bit I didn't go on it, but then I decided to go on it one day, and I posted it, and I got mad hits. I got like 20 something people like interested in the story. So then, you know, one by one, I interviewed them all. We talked, and we nailed it down to 4 or 5 people. So it was cool. Like honestly, like I spent about probably close to $200 on the voice acting for this video. So it's probably like, you know, obviously a lot of this stuff is like up and comer voice actors, just like, you know, I'm up and coming channel. So like for me, like this story isn't meant to be as great in like terms of like voice acting and stuff like that as the actual game. It's just meant to be like told as like a fan story, you know what I mean? So like obviously some voices don't sound exactly like the characters, but you know, that's kind of like on purpose too, because like I don't want to infringe on any of the voice actors that do this for the game itself. This is just more of just a fun video for everybody involved. And it's not just me talking the whole time. Like the whole video is voice acted for a reason, because I want it to be almost like a cinematic type story, where it's a little bit different than just a regular fan story where you just hear some guy talking over it. And I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do something different, like where it's almost like a production on a very, very, very small scale. And like I said, like that, you know, I've never written the script before, so like this is a very interesting thing, and just like working with these voice actors and then them like you know, kind of showing me the ropes and how to do everything and like how to plan stuff like that. It was actually the whole experience for doing this was actually pretty cool. Like I really enjoyed it a lot. So like it was different, bro. Like it was really different, bro. Like I kind of lost my job a week and a half ago, and I lost it. I'm not gonna talk about why I lost it, but yeah, like it was a really bad time. You know what I mean? And like I haven't paid the last voice actor yet, but he's working with me and like he's allowing me to go forward with the production, and like I just like we will work out a plan later on, which you know that was super cool of him, bro, because he didn't have to do that. He could have just told me no, don't put it down without my permission, and then I would have been like just stuck. But because the dude is super cool, like he's a super cool dude, so he's allowing me to do this, to finish this, because like that could have really put a dampener on the project and maybe have to, you know, make him wait for another month. Or two, depending on how fast I get a job, because winter is very hard to get a job. But yeah, so he's allowing me to go ahead with this, so I'm able to to push it out this month. Now, mind you, this is the first story. I'm obviously this is not going to be monetized at all. Like even if I was monetized, I wouldn't make sure it was demonetized, because these are not my characters or anything like that. This is just a story that I'm fond of and a game I'm fond of, and that I wanted to create something for. So like, you know, I was thinking of doing something where like if people wanted to donate and like kind of help out the project go forward in terms of like, you know, the future stories, because like honestly, like I mean I'll still probably pay out of my pocket, but you know, if people want to see the content just kind of improve a little bit and you guys want to do something like that, that's cool too. But you know, either way, I'm gonna push out the money myself if I need to. But if anybody wants to just help out the project and just kind of donate to help it, you know, get bigger and better, you know, you guys are always welcome to do that as well. I don't know, I wasn't really gonna do something like that, but my friend says he thinks that if people want to see more of that, then it should be something that, you know, I talk about on things. But at the end of the day, even if no one donates at all, I'll still go forward with the project, because this is more of a passion project for me. And like I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna keep it a stack. Like I'm kind of nervous about putting this video out, just because like this is how I see things and how I would like to see Mortal Kombat. And like sometimes, you know, people are very harsh with that kind of thing, and like, you know, if I just make a video and people are negative, whatever. But like, this is a video that I kind of like will see Mortal Kombat characters doing it. And like, you know, it's gonna be interesting to see how the feedback is for this, because like I'm kind of just like I want to see people's opinions. And I know some opinions are probably going to be harsh just because it's not exactly Mortal Kombat voices, but some of them are actually really good voices. So like that's the only reason like I kind of like went forward with it. So anyways, I'm kind of just yapping on too much here. But yeah, this is probably be the only video before Christmas. So let me just say it now. Merry Christmas to everybody who's celebrating it, and happy holidays if I don't see you guys on New Year's or anything like that. But anyways, this trailer is about to, I hope you guys enjoy it. Like, some of it is actually really emotional. Like I think I picked the right song that makes it more emotional. This is not really a get hyped like kind of like Transformer type trailer. And like I've never made a trailer before, so I kind of just been watching videos and just kind of guessing. And I kind of like the way I did this one, but that's me. I'm probably being biased there. But anyways, guys, I'm not gonna waste any more of your time. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is the life after the end of all things. See you guys later. Peace.
Our work is finished, Liu Kang. You have proven worthy to take my place as the new protector of Earthrealm, once it is restored. The sands of time are now yours to shape. It falls upon you to architect a new history.
Why does fate seem always to conspire against us?
You are our only hope of resetting the timeline. My arms are but a small price to pay if it meant you would survive the influence of the crown. We are training to become warriors, not monks in the temple, Lord Raiden.
Bye.